Ooh, a little crosstalk snuck in through the back. Hello, welcome to the Party Makes Things Worse Song of the Reliquary. This is our D&D actual play, and some of you may have noticed we've been off the horse for a little bit. It's the holiday seasons. We've been very busy, so I'll say I for one, am very excited to get back to it, and also feel kind of like I've never streamed before a day in my life. So hopefully we can kind of balance all of those feelings and move ahead. I have, I would say, a peppering of festivities because this is also our company Christmas party. So grab a drink, grab a snack, get ready to hopefully not die in a tunnel. I'm going to give a brief recap, and then we're actually going to do character facts, because I did watch back, and I said we were going to do character facts no less than 3 times last session. Did not happen. Originally, we were going to do them at the beginning, and then we were going to do them at intermission, and then we were going to do them at the end, and it didn't happen at any point. So, wow. Now, I do wish the music was somewhat more festive, but not a lot of sort of free license things in that category. So the story so far, our happy band of adventurers here, happy being sort of a tentative term, we'll say, have been out and about, leaving the great city of Bastion, a technological marvel that, for me personally, I think of a medieval-tinged Akira, if you know that very famous movie and manga series. That's what I think of when I think of Bastion. Left that huge city to go as a part of a grand caravan to explore this abandoned, strange superstructure of some long dead empire. Not an empire to be, in point of fact, a primacy, the Deathwoken primacy. Scattered out throughout what we call the Tomb Desert, this massive expanse of truly dead rock and sand, are these little structures. On the surface, they appear little, but when delved into, when unearthed, they reveal themselves to be impossibly large, quite ridiculously so, seeing as how they are from very much the ancient world. Our party is really closely connected together with sort of 2 people on the outset, which I think is pretty humorous. So we have Nicole, who is not visible but will be playing today, whose character Beige owes several 100,000 gold to some dangerous people, and so Spencer's character Harold has decided to take up this quest alongside Beige in an effort to try to make sure that they do not get their kneecaps removed, pickled, and gifted back to them for Christmas, which would be sort of
number is
tough.
Classified. That's a classified number.
It's a big one, though. Big enough that you decided to delve into some ancient tomb, which is quite impressive. Bartholomew Silvertongue was roped in against his will to help with that effort, and if memory serves, so was Lemon. So Harold basically ran around with a big shepherd's crook, grabbing people and saying, "You're in the adventure now." The only person, really, who has been forthright about having their own ends is Stefan's character Hilver, a member of the Guardians, this sort of strange, not much is known about them, and I don't know how much your character has shared, kind of outsiders, people literally from outside the prime plane of Prospect, who go in search of secrets about magic and the gods, and your character specifically is dedicated to finding out about these gods of the old world, how they are made, if they can be made, on and on. That grand caravan departed. You guys managed to get your way onto one of the 2 sky ships that accompanied. Making your way through, you had some friendly conversation, managed to run off the Dragon of the Tomb Desert, this great and infamous threat that everybody was kind of afraid they would run into, and that you managed to sort of navigate around with pretty minimal problems. As a result, you got some pretty impressive rewards, and as the caravan prepared to arrive at this massive canyon that carves the Tomb Desert in half, seated inside, several hundred feet below the edge of which is this place you are trying to explore, called the Hive. You all ran ahead, departing early in an attempt to get ahead. Found that you were not doing so alone. 2 other groups moving alongside. One large already, but hiding secret numbers. Another very small and seemingly trying to go unnoticed. You all managed to find a sort of secretive entrance through the side, while that larger group went through the front door, and you got the sense that something went very, very wrong. They triggered some kind of trap, and you felt perhaps like you had already gotten the upper hand on the Deathwoken primacy who were wiped out so many centuries, millennia? The timeline's a little fuzzy. A very long time ago. You guys, however, quickly have run into a problem. After a pretty pulse-pounding and occasionally almost lethal journey into the hive, you begin to move down what seems to be some kind of tunnel? Vent? You're really not sure. Making your way down eventually, you discovered you were not alone. 3 strange creatures have been seen so far, 2 of them looking humanoid, but able to climb on these sort of smooth, carved stone walls and ceiling. Strange, emaciated, almost mummified looking humanoids who clearly still have a jaw, still have a mouth, but their actual, where their lips would be, is smooth. Something that would prevent them from making noise that makes quite the ghastly physical appearance. Coming up alongside them, behind you all, is this ooze, this great black living puddle that is dragging itself towards you all in pretty unnatural speed and manner. That's where we left off. So everybody go ahead and roll initiative. Music's very intense. I don't have combat music lined up, but Spencer, I will give you permission to swap it if you know of a good combat track, because this is a little more sort of like eerie exploration and a little less fighting some monsters in a tunnel. Although, however it happens, it happens. Let's get ready to kick things off. But first, you thought I'd forget again. It's time for character facts. So I'm going to ask for your not inspiration. Whoopsie. I'm going to ask for your initiative and your character fact, sort of as a unit. So let's see who rolled the highest initiative on their character facts. Did anybody get over 20? Great. 20 to 15.
17.
Oh, thank goodness. 17. Spencer, what did you get?
15.
All right, so we're going to start with Stefan. Stefan / Hilver. What is your character fact?
All right. So I guess like he wants to figure out how to create these gods kind of like as a whole for like helping people, but like the one that he's kind of most interested in is like that, like trying to create a god of like decay and resurrection and all that for mainly like his goal is to have another entity that's out here on the outside of Cradle that can then be helpful for people here and then also be in contact with Cradle so that they can have a better kind of like flow of the like kind of metaphysical machinations of how life and afterlife work.
Wow,
And
so quite the dramatic goal.
Yeah, and like encountering this like twisted undead dragon compared to like what he's used to within Cradle and like the more, I guess, the natural like afterlife flow of creatures there, it was like very jarring for him, and he like couldn't connect to it like he usually would with entities in Cradle. So it was just like really urging him to be like, there's like these dark and twisted things that are like happening here that need extra like superpowered assistance to help people to redeem and repair them.
Interesting. So as this sort of sheltered guardian, you are discovering that this world, which maybe was framed to you as kind of soft, is quite difficult to survive and travel in. That's really interesting, and trying to sort of bridge that gap. Love it. Up next, Harold Vale.
That'd be me. Harold's fact is that he doesn't like the annual Day of Giving. He never really received gifts as a child growing up in the Mullocks. There wasn't enough to go around. And then when he got older, he wanted to give back and give gifts himself, but he still never had enough money to go around because he was constantly spending it on Bija's debts. And so he has never really liked the Day of Giving.
So it's a strictly stressful holiday for Harold
Yeah,
Vale.
it's just bad. It's bad vibes all around.
You sort of voluntarily made a character with Catholic guilt, and that's kind of interesting. Like that's kind of that's a perspective
I'm
to
building
take.
it in.
I like it. I
Mhm.
like it. I like it. All right. So that was our. Anybody else in the 20 to 15 crew who missed the initial boat? All right, 15 to 10. Oh, thank
11.
goodness. Michael got an 11. Nick, what'd you get?
14.
All right, so Nick, you're going to be up next with Bartholomew.
All right, so Bartholomew, which of the many stories or facts can we do with this con man? How about one of his first interactions in gathering some of his many religious tokens? Particularly the hair and Helmbarrow. So as he's going navigating through the train at a young age, coming from a mysterious location before he got onto this locomotive, Bartholomew would, using his rogue abilities to kind of scurry his way, listen in to different stories and such, and also started learning these different religions. He started to realize I could make some good coin by becoming more of a prophet for some of these. We started noticing some worshippers of Helmbarrow and worshippers of the hair starting to butt heads. So he decided to intervene with the two of them by convincing the prophets of Helmbarrow to start, how could I put this, serving dinner of fried hair to some of the worshippers. What Bartholomew also noticed was, because he also was able to disguise himself, started noticing rabbits in the distance hopping around. Let's just say that these kobold prophets disappeared miraculously. But leaving a little token for him, he picks it up and takes over for Helmbarrow himself, along with the hair. Not much is go around, but he would also kind of walk around with this food cart, and as much as he doesn't want to admit, one of his favorite meals nowadays is kobold wings.
Wild. I love it. So for those of you who don't know, which is everybody, Helmbarrow is the god of craft and long-standing tradition. The hare, the god of seasons and change. This strange... If you don't know what a hare looks like, Google the difference between a hare and a rabbit, and you'll know why we made that call. They are these sort of tall, gaunt, horrible versions of rabbits that are pretty great. All right, very cool. Michael, you/Lemon are up next.
All right. So, fun fact for Lemon, he's got 6 siblings, all living back at Glint's wake. They're all younger. 3 brothers, 3 sisters, and that's the main reason that he's trying to get a shield for Wake, just make his family safe.
Okay.
Lime, cherry, orange, apple, you know.
How do you know their names?
I got to watch you soft pitch
Persimmon.
that joke. That was so funny.
I pitched it straight to Nicole on mute.
Too good. All right, I like it. And then Nicole, what initiative? Tell me, how has your baleful curse shown itself today?
Unfortunately, I am at the will of Spencer's muting abilities, so I did scream when you asked. I got a 12. So, I mean,
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
all right, okay. My character practice also holiday themed, because it is Christmas Eve. So my fact is that Beach doesn't really like, what is it called? The Christmas holiday.
The Day of Giving.
The Day of Giving. Beach doesn't really love it.
Canon.
What?
It's canon now. It's the Day of Giving.
Oh, okay. Yep, sure.
That's
he
its
doesn't
name
love
in
it because
Bastion for sure.
Yeah.
Beach doesn't love it. He has a very loving family, but they are mostly loving to Beach.
Beach, younger.
Not Beach, but Beach. And because Beach's mom is very crafty, she's a knitter, so she really likes to knit. She likes to knit. She always made them, Beach and Beach, holiday sweaters. Harry Potter-esque in the way of, they have their initial on the front. You know what I'm talking about. You know, if you know, you know. And that's all great. And Beach would love to get these gifts. And for a while, you know, it was okay. The problem was, Beach's mom only bought one pattern, and that was a bee to go on the front. And unfortunately, Beach's name does not start with B.
Not anymore.
It starts with Z. And so because Beach's mom did not want to buy 2 patterns, Beach always got a sweater with a bee on it. And also, a little bit of Beach, the younger, fact.
First of all, he's an asshole. Second, he sucks.
He's also roughly about 2.5 to 3 feet tall. So he's short. He's tiefling height. He's very short. Beach's dad is very, very short, like tiefling height, but Beach's mom is super tall. So that's why Beach, the older, is tall. Anyway, this is a little lore. These are like many facts in one. But again, she didn't buy this pattern and use up all this extra yarn. So Beach would always get a little crop top, which honestly,
The reason Beach is yoked is to make it so the crop.
Wait.
He was still like closer in age to Beach the younger. They could wear kind of the similar size, you know, because Beach is more of like a string bean type vibe when he was a young bard, you know.
Making it canonical that the reason that Beach dresses like a fuckboy is because his mom refused to buy different size patterns is the funniest possible maneuver.
The giving day sweaters.
He got the crop top and he was like, wait. At first he was like, are you kidding me? Like, really? But now he's like, wait, actually. It's kind of a serve.
Is this a look?
And it is, and Beach with his earring, like, he looks great, and to be honest. But yeah, that's my character.
Okay, great. With all of that out of the way, I have our initiative order down, and we are going to kick things off here. Thankfully, the 2 creatures that snuck across the top of the wall, these 2 stalkers, have failed their stealth checks. Thank goodness. This would have gone very strange very quickly had they not. Now, I do have a very important question. I have a sort of rough map here to the side of me. Nothing important enough to be shown on screen. It is dry erase with a couple of little logos and marks on it. My question is, how does this group travel down a hallway that is 25 feet wide? Is somebody in the front? Is somebody to the back? Is somebody to the middle? What does that array of people look like? Because I need to sort of place the 5 of you in the cluster that was last described.
I feel like Beach was sort of in the front, right? Because he had just come back from
scouting. You had walked out and then came back. And you met up with me because I was looking down that tunnel with you.
So maybe
we're towards the front where that entry into the rest of the cavern was.
Okay. And what about Nick, Michael, and Stefan? So let me make sure that I give our audience the information they need. Michael, a.k.a. Lemon, Stefan, a.k.a. Hilver, and Nick, a.k.a. Bartholomew.
I would be holding up the rear.
Okay.
Barty was next, second in the rear.
And then I'll be in the... Yeah. With my movement and my high amount of movement, I'll be in the middle so I can kind of go wherever when I need to.
Midfielder.
In that case, these 2 stalkers that were climbing atop the ceiling, both in unison, turn and fall, clearly sort of of their own will. They fall a good 10 feet or so and don't seem to take any damage from it. They just land very softly and completely silently, with no sound of exertion, no scream or screech. The 2 of them launch forward. One of them aiming for Hilver, the other one aiming for Lemon. They immediately strike into action with no preamble, no sort of secretive wording.
No monologuing?
Oh.
The first one is going to swing out and make 2 attacks against Hilver. That is a 17 on the first.
That misses.
And so, okay, when the first one misses, it is going to use its ability Exploit Opening to gain advantage on the second, seeing that you have pretty good armor on. and ends up with a 26 as a result.
Okay, that one hits.
Absolutely. Okay. You take 7 points of piercing damage and 6 points of poison damage for a total of 13 points of damage as this thing sprints out towards you. And you were maybe expecting claws, maybe expecting something like that, and instead darting quickly into... It is wearing like leathers of some kind that seem to be sort of not too worn by time, and it pulls a knife, a dagger out, stabs into your side and backs up, and there is poison dripping from the end of the blade. You have the poisoned condition until the end of this creature's next turn, so you have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls.
All right, and I guess I'll try to use the deflect attack reaction then. So when an attack roll hits you and its damage includes bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing, you can take a reaction to reduce the attack's total damage against you equals 1d10 plus your dexterity modifier and monk level.
So
So that is...
I love advanced 5e.
That's 14 damage reduction.
Okay, so you take none of that piercing damage. So you don't take that 7, I believe is what I said, 6 or 7. But you do still take that 6 poison damage. So what we will describe is a superficial scratch as you manage to back off, but you still feel a strong burning sensation as you take that poison damage.
All right.
It is then going to... So it runs forward to strike you. Running right by Nick, running right by Bartholomew's feet. This thing like scurries on the ground under your feet to get to him. It is then going to disengage as a bonus action, turn around, and run back into the darkness. I do think everybody with dark vision, if you have dark vision, you can still see it. If you do not, do we have a light source? We do, right? Something's glowing?
My gun.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
then
also
yes,
glowing.
everybody can still see it. Just wanted to make sure that that was true. The other one is going to go after you, Lemon. Lemon, you're in heavy armor, right?
Not really. I'm
What-
in studded leather.
Oh, okay. I don't know why. For some reason, I
Nothing
thought you were in like
heavy to Lemon.
split.
He's too strong.
Okay, wow.
You might think it's heavy, not heavy.
24 on the first,
Yeah, it's
18 on the second.
that also hits.
Yikes.
My
the
AC
first-
is 17.
On the first strike, you take 10 points of piercing damage and 4 points of poison damage, and you are also poisoned until this creature's next turn.
Okay.
On the second attack, you take 9 points of piercing damage and 2 points of poison damage.
Okay.
I give those separately so that you can reduce them if you feel, if there is anything to be gained from that.
I'm good. What's poison do to me exactly?
You have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Gotcha.
Spencer, I hope you know you're muted.
I'm making jokes with Nicole.
Okay, good. Great. This is sort of an audio visual medium, so feel free to share your jokes, man.
No, we were talking about how good my joke was, and that nobody laughed, and that I should start talking to Chad. Say, Chad, if you like that joke, give us a thumbs up.
You should. That'd be very funny in the future tense. And then this one is also going to take the disengage. It gets out a bull. No, it's going to take the disengage bonus action and also run. But it is going to actually run past the group, deeper into the room. And that may be the first time as you follow it with your eyes that you see climbing out of the ground this like billowing mass of black ooze starting to like pull itself forward on these weird tendrils. Great. Very involved. That is the Stalker's turn. Hilver.
All right. Which was the one that Harold had shot at before?
You shot
Or
at
was
the
that
one.
more of a cinematic?
I mean, it was
from the
pretty
end of the
right.
last session?
If memory serves, it was fairly cinematic. I don't think you did any damage
Okay.
with it. You shot upwards, And that would clearly have sort of disturbed the scene to some degree.
Gotcha.
But those bullets
All
would just
right.
sort of be lying on the ground.
All right. Yeah, I'll just sort of see that the poison like in me, and I will swing over to
And two things quickly. One, if I turn out to be wrong about that, I guess I'll give Michael a free point of inspiration or something. And number two, check to see if you have a point of inspiration, because you can't have two. So if you have some heroic inspiration floating around in your pocket somewhere, don't be afraid to get those out so that you can collect a new one.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'll run over to the one that attacked me then and
Great.
try to hit it with disadvantage.
Great. Easy run for you. It's only 25 feet away.
All right. Both of those are 18s to hit.
Both of those are 18s to hit. So
Sorry, that was for the first one. Sorry. I rolled 2 10s for disadvantage, so 18 total.
that hits.
All right. And so that'll be.
We don't usually start this high. We're starting
Uh.
quite high level for us, and I was like, +8. Oh no.
Yeah. So that'll be 7 damage.
7 damage. All right.
And I will use a key point to try to stunning strike it.
Sure thing.
There's the focus points.
How much damage? I'm sorry, 7 points?
Yeah.
7 points of damage. Okay, can do. And then I'm making a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah. Save is 16.
Great. Natural 20 plus 4. Ooh,
Wow.
24. You've never seen a creature save harder than this thing does.
Yeah. It's like static.
Yeah, you reach up and smash your fist down into the side of this thing's jaw and head, knowing that you connect with a great number of things that are easily jostled off to sort of stun somebody for a moment. And as it connects, you feel a pop, and the creature just looks back at you, and you see its jaw set back into place. And get the sense there is something a little alien going on with its sort of physiology.
All right. So on the plus side, even if it fails, its movement speed is halved, and I get the next attack on it has advantage. So I'll roll a flat one for my second attack.
Advanced 5e. Yeah, that advantage cancels out that disadvantage, and this thing's movement speed goes from 40 feet down to 20 feet.
And I roll terribly for that. So 8. An 11 to hit.
11 to hit. As you go to crack down, this creature is starting to get a sense for you and dodges to the one side, and your fist just strikes into the wall as it manages to duck under. You're expecting these humanoid creatures to stand and fight you sort of fully face to face, and it keeps going under and low and around you in increasingly hard to follow ways.
All right.
Is that it for your turn?
Bonus action, flurry of blows. So I
Okay.
kind of like continue my momentum after the miss and sort of try to like swing at it with like the back of my heel and kick it.
Sure thing.
And that's a dirty 20 to hit.
Hit.
All right. That'll be 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Great.
And with that key point too, I am going to not disengage. I'm just going to back over to Lemon, who seems to have taken some damage. And as my second flurry of blows, I want to like put my hand against his wound and sort of like channel some of that energy into him to heal him.
Okay, you're going to take an attack of opportunity as you run.
Yeah,
Okay, that is a 16 to hit.
that misses.
Misses. Woo! You just hear the whoosh of the dagger behind you as you continue to run forward.
All right, so that's 1d8 healing.
And
for
Harold, you're
Lemon.
going to be up in just a minute.
Plus 5. So that's so I healed Lemon 8 hit points,
Nice.
and I think it removes the
While you read that
poison
out-
condition from him too.
It does. Okay, Lemon, you watch as Hilver gets into a brief tussle with this creature, turns, runs over to you, like slams a hand into your chest, and then you watch as like clear liquid is like expelled out of your wound as the poison is rejected by your body by this weird palm strike that invigorates you.
All right,
Cool.
Lemon, that one's weak now if you want to take it out. But those strikes they have certainly sting.
All right. Harold, you're up. You watch this exchange. Where you are right now, that large ooze is only about 15 feet in front of you. The one of these stalking creatures is directly to your side. It is about 10 feet to your right, and the other one is far behind you on the other side of everybody. What do you do?
I'm gonna go for the large ooze.
Okay, you run forward in your glinting adamantine plate to face this creature head on.
I draw my blade and I swing twice.
Swing.
The first one was a 19 to hit,
19 hits.
and the second was a 12 to hit.
12 hits.
Ooh. That was 7 damage on the first, and 7 damage on the second, and I'm going to smite.
Oofa
Additional
doofa.
damage.
Okay.
That is going to be.
So can I? Oh, before you go, I don't want to get lost here. What? Can you give me that initial damage again?
It was 14 total for the 2 swings.
Okay, let me check. Is your weapon magical?
It is not.
But it is slashing damage, correct?
Yes.
Your blade passes through and has absolutely no effect. But smite.
And then I swing on the second one, seeing that there is no effect, and it illuminates, and I swing through on the second. So the second attack was 7 slashing damage, which I think does nothing. And then it did 10 smite damage for Radiant.
Okay. Okay, so a couple of really strange things happen back to back as you go out and you make those attacks. So number one, this creature absolutely does take that 10 points of damage. But as your first swing goes through, I have a question. Is your sword magical? It slashes through and your wrist and hand start to burn a little. As you swing through a second time, this pulse of light goes through the creature, and you have a moment of relief as you see it damage, and then you look down and your hand is burning and your sword is burning heavily. Smoke coming off of the blade. Your sword has a permanent -2 to damage rolls.
Damn. Guys, don't attack this as something not magical.
And you get the sense that it got worse when you attacked a second time. And you wonder how much the sword can take before it just falls apart.
I do swing that second time it goes through, and I just sheathe really quick and pull out my gun.
Huge. Great. Okay, cool. Fantastic. All right, that is Harold's turn as you sort of switch up tactics. Let me remember to move you forward so that everybody knows where we are. Bartholomew, you are up next. This has just erupted into action. You watch all of this. You watch Hilver go to attack the one towards the back. You watch Lemon be attacked. And finally, you watch Harold go to swing with a normal sword and say, don't use anything that's not magical. Sheath it and pull his gun. What do you do?
So, Bartholomew kind of just looks around in panic, listening to that, and does the most Barty thing you can imagine. Cast invisibility.
Cast invisibility. You watch Bartholomew just vanish.
He just pulls out one of his red, and he's gone. And he moves at least, let's see, is there any... No, so he is trying to observe. He's gonna probably put himself slightly behind these two creatures and just kind of watch in the darkness.
Sure.
And see if there's any damage between. Maybe he can use something for a little stabby stab.
Okay, the best you can get to doing what you want to do is that one of them will be 10 feet to your left and the other will be 20 feet to your right. And that'll put you at right about the middle between the two of them. So that's your action to cast invisibility, a little bit of movement. Is there anything else you wanted to do on your turn? Probably not, on account of the invisibility.
No, invisibility, since, bonus action, can't do that first, not PG-3. So, he just...
You can do a bonus action before an action.
He can?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, then before that, he casts a Bardic Inspiration on Harold.
Okay. What you offer...
He just, yeah. Nope.
No, so great. You get, Harold, you get sort of some degree of inspiration from some random god of the pantheons. You just feel some... Here, let's just have a little bit of... Where's my big terrible one to do? Spencer. We'll have Spencer roll it. I think that's funny. Spencer, roll a d20. Harold, roll a d20.
Was a 17.
It is in fact the god of dragons and competition. So you hear like a distant roar and feel the cheering of a crowd you cannot see as you take that, if memory serves, D6 or maybe D8 of bardic inspiration leading into the scene. Great, and then you turn invisible. Bartholomew is safe and sound. Beige, you are up. Go for Beige.
You are muted, Spencer.
I was describing the bonus action economy.
No, but I will say,
Alright,
if it
this
is
is
the
funny.
turn of one of the two of you, you gotta unmute, even if you're talking
I
rules.
didn't hear the beige, so it's all good.
Sorry.
Take it.
No sweat.
Now. Okay. I am up sort of with you, so I'm going to also go for the blob
Great.
and do some radiant damage on that blob. Because Reach will like go up to you and be like, get. And I'm going to use Starry Wisp.
Okay.
And I rolled. I have a +6 and I rolled a 5, so I have an 11.
An 11
12
hits.
hit.
That is 9 points of radiant damage.
9 points of radiant damage. Great. You guys have quickly put together the challenge. The two of you, Harold and Beige, perhaps the audience, if this is our $20 million animated series, has wondered what makes the two of these people spend any time together, given Beige's sort of rampant debt. And then we watch this moment of like perfect synchronicity as we watch Harold run up, swing twice, realize that normal weapons won't work, pull another gun, as Beige, heeding that, sprints forward and blasts a radiant bolt into the side of the creature, immediately adapting to this new change.
Noise.
Drift Force activated.
Yeah. That's your action. You have your movement. You have your bonus action. Do you do anything with it?
I think I would also like to use a Bardic Inspiration. And I will use that on not you, no offense, you already have.
Lemon, Helver.
Lemon's the one that's going to go very soon.
Okay then.
Okay.
Okay.
We have that discussion. Lemon or Helver.
Which one of these fools?
Lemon looks to be loading his lethal
Lemon's
Armament.
mid-
Oh, I'm always loaded, baby.
Oh, God. All right, so you blast out this bolt of radiance, reach over, sing a note, and Lemon, you feel emboldened by this display of enthusiastic prowess. All right, is that Beige's turn?
That's my turn.
Great. Lemon, you're up.
Cool.
No more
Question.
disadvantage. Your poison has been cleared, and you are now no longer in melee. The creature that attacked you, however, is only about 15 feet away. It's quite close.
All right. The weakened one, that Hilver did some damage to, I'm going to shoot at him.
Okay. From the outside, you it looks like Lemon points their gun at Hilver, as Lemon just points over at Hilver, who is between them and the other creature, and just starts to fire,
Whoa.
aiming carefully.
Yeah. around the shoulder, bend the bullet. All right, that is 12, so 19 to hit.
19 should hit. So here's what I will say. It is the creature has a small bonus to its AC because Hilver is in the way, but a 19 still hits.
All right, and then second attack is much better. That is going to be a 12 plus 12, so a 24.
Absolutely. Those definitely both hit. Go ahead and roll damage for those 2 attacks.
Cool.
Already these creatures have held up to these strikes, these blows, a little bit more hardy than maybe you would hope that they would.
Ooh, nice. So that's going to be plus... So it's going to be 25 points of piercing.
What? Not fun.
Oh, sorry, I rolled the wrong thing. I was rolling my pistol, not my revolver. My
Okay. Oh, yes, you have a nicer and a shittier gun.
bad. Yes. Sorry about that.
No, listen, get all the damage in there that you can.
Silver with the gun going off, just like, oh.
Right.
Definitely.
22 points of piercing.
22 points of piercing damage. Okay. 2 shots ring out, both of them striking into the side of this creature. Everybody's ears ring a little bit as gunfire is starting to go off in this very tight stone hallway. You see these 2 creatures reacting not super strongly, but with shock. Both of them sort of jump back a little bit in response to this. They seem very confused by what it is that you have in your hands. As the 2 bullets strike into the side of it, it kind of falls backwards a little bit.
He has been sapped, so disadvantage on their next attack.
This poor guy. Halved speed, disadvantage on his attack.
And then I'm going to bonus action second wind.
Okay, get some health back. Nice.
Yeah. Sweet. I get full health, so that is 15 points back. And I'll use my tactile shift because I'm using that as a bonus action. I just get to move half my move speed without provoking any attacks.
Nice. Where you headed?
Just back a little bit, away from the one that's 15 feet close to me.
Okay, so that'll put you moving towards the one that Hilver is fighting. Is that what you want?
How close am I to that?
So, ironically, you are... They are 15
mid-
feet in both directions of
Gotcha,
you.
I'll stay then.
Okay. Hilver just sits right where they are. Great. Lemon just sits right where they are. Okay. That is the ooze's turn. This ooze, a black pudding, for those of you keeping track at home, is going to sort of rear up and attack. Yeah, that makes sense to me. All right, gotta be only one attack, right? For this big nasty man? Yeah. It is going to lash out at Harold because you were sort of right up in its face. Oh, but it saw that you're... No, it's going to go after Harold. See how it works out. All right, that is a terrible, awful, no good, very bad roll. 10 to hit.
Doesn't do it.
Not even a little bit. What happens is you saw your sword sort of start to dissolve, sheathe it, and as this thing lashes out with one of these like pseudopod tendrils, you just stick your chest out and it bounces off of your magical adamantine armor, the acid having absolutely no effect whatsoever. Seeing that happen, and it knows that you have a sword, it is going to move. You watch this creature do something unfathomably annoying. It goes from where it is, and it goes 10 feet over to the wall, taking an attack of opportunity from you if you want to make it. Although you know your slashing wouldn't do any damage, so you'd have to burn another smite, which I don't think you can anymore. And then it travels up the wall 10 feet and onto the ceiling, so that it is 10 feet over your head.
I can burn another smite because it doesn't use any action economy. It just burns a slot on any attack. I will, because this sword is already going to be useless to me.
It burns a bonus action.
Does it now? So dumb. I hate that change, but that's fine. That won't do anything.
I hate that change from a cool perspective, but I love that change from a balance perspective.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, no. So as a paladin, if you use it in your action, you can't use it as a reaction. You can't use it as a reaction at all. In your reaction, you can't bonus action.
Yeah, so it lets you the
matter
benefit,
what.
the thing that a lot of people misunderstand about the new is it's not like you need to use your bonus action first and then smite. You smite and it eats your bonus action. Like that's all. So it's not like you have to stop and do it. It just chomps it.
It's mostly just now you can't reaction a smite no matter what because there's no sections in a reaction.
Aren't some of the smites are like concentration spells though, right? So if you like used it as a bonus action but didn't attack, then it would still be ready for your reaction.
I only use divine smites the way God intended.
The real problem is, at some point, somebody had to sit down in a meeting and go, hey, I know paladins were the strongest class in AD&D. We can't keep letting them do 90 points of damage a turn, right? And then eventually everybody said, yeah, we should probably ease up on that. But changes to the game aside.
I do nothing. Yeah.
Okay. It gets up onto the ceiling, safer from strikes and attacks from around it. And then a new combatant enters the field.
Friend.
Ally, please.
You all watch as passing through the door at the end of this hallway is a strange spectral form, like a swirling cloud of tattered rags, dust, and dark shadow that just passes through, looking around the room very briefly before flying into the center, going 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Harold, it just passes through you and out the other side.
Nice. He's going for the black pudding, I can tell.
To be fair, something like this probably looks a little friendly to Hilver compared to like all the cradle creatures.
It looks friendly to me.
This ability is going to target Beige, Harold, and Lemon.
Prayer of healing. Here it comes, gang.
Yeah.
I need you all to make wisdom saving throws as this thing throws its head back and its mouth distends into an impossible gaping maw, screaming and filling this chamber with a horrible psychic scream.
Wisdom.
At least Beige is near Harold to get the aura, right?
Yeah, you get the aura. It gives you a to the save. I got a 24 to save. I'm gonna look
Whoa!
up my
That almost doubles it. That's fine.
Yeah, let's go.
I got an 18.
18, come on.
You get an additional +3 to saving throws. So add +3 to whatever you rolled.
This is going to be so funny if only Beige fails.
+3.
Oh.
She got an 11.
Fail.
He-
Thank goodness. All right, let
Wait,
me...
can I just say also, I know something bad is gonna happen to me. Or well, actually, no. I think
A healing word.
healing word.
Healing word with a wisdom save. Everybody
Healing
knows
through
that
fear.
classic combination. Beige, you take 11 points of psychic damage. And you immediately use your reaction to attack Harold.
Ooh.
No, I'm you. I also want to say that last episode I realized obviously that I had Featherfall. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, for the fall.
And I had something else that would have been helpful. I also realized that I am wearing currently winged boots.
Oh,
You got the wing boots.
Come
Gotta
on!
use those.
Oh my goodness. All right, so that whole thing was a crock. All right, but regardless,
Yeah.
make a melee attack against Harold with a weapon of your choice.
Alrighty. Oh boy. I swear I'll be really, really sweet and nice. Okay.
You won't hit.
Okay.
You almost can't hit. You don't hit.
Okay. You all watch this creature screaming into the space. Harold and Lemon, you managed to shake off this dissonance, thank goodness, or you would have begun, assumably, to just attack each other. But Beige grabs the side of their head, and then, as if something else has controlled their arm just shoots up, reaches down, grabs a knife, and swings out towards you, Harold, and you have to, dodge back. As it goes across the front of your adamantine armor for, thankfully, no damage. Okay. That is its turn. That is all of its movement. It had to go that far to get into the center of the room. You watch it look dejected that only that few people failed to save. And then we are going to move on. We are back up at the top of initiative. Perhaps you are all grateful that no, what do you call them? No layer actions go off in this moment.
Oh.
I don't know, summoning the rag beast felt sort of like a layer action.
The one creature, the one stalker, quickly dashes across the space to attack Harold twice. It is going to give itself advantage on the first swing with exploit opening. So
Is that the one that already had disadvantage? Or is that the
No,
one-
you are in
Okay.
combat with the one that has disadvantage. Does a 19 hit Harold?
No, it does not.
Harold is simply too strong. This creature is beginning to get frustrated as it seems unable to affect. And so actually,
Bully it out of the room.
it cling. You see that look across its face, and it pivots around you and attacks Beige.
It's going for you.
25 to hit.
I heard.
Ooh. See, that one would have hit Harold.
Oh.
25.
7
What?
points of piercing damage, 4 points of poison damage, and you are poisoned until the end of its next turn.
11.
Wow.
That took...
I saw some finger. You guys don't have a camera on. I saw some finger count going on.
That's
It
right.
then-
I did finger count for 8 plus
That's
4.
what they're there for.
It then bonus action disengages and crawls up the wall and is standing next to the black pudding on the ceiling.
Chad, are you seeing?
Chat,
Take a look at this guy.
the one with reduced movement that is locked in single combat with Hilver is going to stay in single combat with Hilver and just keep swinging.
Oh, right.
It is very little to gain from anything else. It's going to give itself advantage on its first attack. It can do that one more time after this.
It has disadvantage on it already, though.
Okay,
that
so it
flat
does
roll?
it to cancel out that disadvantage. So the result is a flat roll of 11 plus 7, 18.
18 does not hit.
Does not hit. Second attack is a 11.
That one doesn't either.
You have an AC of 18 as a monk?
It's 20 right now because we got that ring of protection.
Damn you, ring of protection. Damn the magic item I gave you. We're gonna have to move up to lethal encounters if we're gonna keep this pace up. No, that's fine.
This
Okay,
is just our first one, though.
it's very
Oh,
true,
the
but it's
reflex.
hilarious. This thing's just gonna stay in combat with you. It has very little to gain from using its bonus action to run because it is hobbled. It can only run so fast. Hilver, you're up. You are locked in this fight. What do you do?
All right. Now that its turn has ended, I'm no longer poisoned. So I will punch it in its face for stabbing us.
Fair.
Does a 14 hit?
Does a 14 hit? No.
Okay. I will punch at its face and like that last thing of poison kind of muscle tenses up my arm and I sort of like flinch then. And then I swing again. And in 16?
16 misses.
Ah, okay. Then I will bonus action and try to kick it
Okay.
for a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 hits. You're all watching these creatures quickly, shocked by the initial bevy of abilities thrown at them, seemingly are starting to adapt to the change. They are dodging more attacks, moving far more agilely. They are beginning to climb the walls more, seeing that you all have very heavy armor for the most part and can deal a lot of damage. They are switching tactics to accommodate the change.
All right, and that's 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
9 points of bludgeoning damage. This thing is starting to look a little bit hurt. It is starting to show signs of wear and tear. It has a couple of bruises, but altogether looks pretty well, especially considering that the other one has taken nary a single blow so far. These things are hardy for the fight. Is that your turn?
Yeah, I'll stay here and I'll kind of like sort of lower my stance a little bit, ready to strike it if it moves away from me.
Great.
And stay in between it and Lemon.
Huge. Harold. You have two combatants that were in melee with you a short moment ago that are now on the ceiling 10 feet above you. So you'd need to pull some mild shenanigans to get to them. Still on the ground with you, that wraith, ghost, whatever that thing is 5 feet behind you. It is extremely close. And the other of these stalkers is fully across the room, which is 5, 10, 15, 20, 45 feet from you. What do you do?
I hold my shield towards the wraith that's 5 feet away from me, and I draw my gun and point back behind me to shoot the creature attacking Hilver.
Oh, they're in the
I
same
shoot
direction.
Oh, sick. In that case, I just hold that out and I point around it. Bang, bang, bang.
Really,
and I get...
Roman centurions hate this one easy trick. Just shield and gun on the other side instead of a spear. You're like, my range is infinity, idiot. I love it.
That was a 19 to hit.
Nice horse,
and
nerd. Yeah. 19 hits.
And a 23 to hit.
Hits.
Parry this fool.
And that's...
My favorite thing, I have to say, a brief pause while Spencer does math. We are in a Wild West setting, and Stefan playing Hilver is a monk, which means there is a non-zero chance that at some point in this campaign, Hilver is going to catch a bullet and throw it back. And I have never been more excited for anything to happen in my life.
We're on the ship's deck and we were practicing that.
We just shoot at Hilver every day.
It's too good.
Yeah. Okay, so if I roll 10 on the D10 plus the 10 from the other edition, so as long as the attack does 20 or below, there's an option that I can do that.
Too good.
Yeah, I think it's likely. I did get a 15 damage total.
15 damage total?
14.
14. Okay.
And as my bonus action, looking over at Hilver, combat, I cast.
Ooh, your signal's getting.
Upon you.
Just pause for a moment because your signal was choppy that whole time. What are you doing on your turn?
Shield of Faith is the bonus action.
Huge. You channel this spell. Is that targeted towards Hilver or Lemon? Hilver. Okay, Hilver. This, you are suddenly protected by Harold's presence, and your AC goes up by 2, I believe.
Yeah.
That's a concentration spell, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the most afraid Spencer has ever been. I just wrote a little C next to his character to remember that there's concentration in this game. Oh, good gravy. All right, Harold. Solid turn, Bartholomew. You are invisible, and you are no longer near any combatants. There is one 15 feet off to your left. All the others have run in the other direction from you, so you are now pretty well and truly safe. What do you do?
He leaves the campaign. He just runs away.
I said bring backup characters. Does that door open and one of those draconians from upstairs is like, what are you guys doing? Anybody need a new best friend?
Friends, no.
So, all right, how far is everyone now? Yeah, 15 feet for the one stalker, and then
Yeah, so the one stalker is 15 feet from you. The black pudding and the other stalker are about 70 feet from you because they are on the ceiling on the opposite side of the room. And that terrible ghost is 20 feet from you, standing in the middle of the room, just finishing its horrible wailing scream.
so Bartholomew, just thinking to himself, just decides, while he's invisible, whatever guy he decides to direct himself. And he, you know what? I'm gonna roll for this.
Oh, he's gonna roll for it.
That's not what I wanted to do, but okay. Well, main character, that's not what I want to do. So Bartholomew starts creeping up, and with the newly acquired vicious dagger, attacks the wraith.
So I love this. Okay,
He
great.
did not want to do it.
So
And-
so I think just for the fun of it, Beige and Harold both look in that direction because you're both already looking that way, and you just start to see this predator ass like translucent figure pull this like a little glint, and you know that Bartholomew has snuck into the middle of the fight to stab a ghost. All right, you
I didn't
definitely
work.
have advantage because you are invisible.
Mhm. Tis the day of giving. At nat 20.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, you're about
20
to
and a 17. That was gonna hit regardless.
you're about to roll a lot of numbers here. So let's see what doubles. So the dagger damage doubles, the additional damage from it being a vicious dagger doubles, and your sneak attack damage doubles. So if you need to get out like a TI-89, you need to get out a little Texas Instruments. You just let me know.
All right, so that's what 2 for. So that's what 4d6.
God, it feels
for
good to have a rogue
vicious.
again. I don't remember. The vicious dagger I think does 1d4 plus 2d6.
1d4 plus 2d6.
It could be more than that, but that's what I think it is. I can pull it up really quick.
It is.
And your
It's
sneak
it's-
4,
Great. And your sneak attack is based on your rogue level, so I don't know what that is.
3. So it should be 2d6.
Okay, so
That's
in the end you are rolling 1d4 and 4d6, doubling that, and then adding your dexterity modifier.
Link plus dex.
Woof.
That's
This
already
might one shot our new friend.
He needs to take a two level dip into Paladin. Get that tag a little smite on the end there. We're in business.
4d6. Double it, and then plus the modifier.
46 plus 1d4, double that,
Yeah.
plus the modifier.
The modifier.
I thought you
is-
said the number 46, and I was like,
Which modifier?
The DM.
Dexterity.
Dex.
Dexter. Oh.
Everybody, we've been playing Dungeons and Dragons together for 4 years.
And I still.
And you're like, what's a dagger do? You know what it is? It's the moment somebody asks you. You're like, what? I punch him. What?
I swing.
Okay. Here we go. So, Barty jumps right in and through the specter with the vicious dagger goes into the gaping maw, rips it up for 46 piercing damage.
46 piercing damage to this spectral, flying, incredibly hard to hit creature. I want you to describe your kill as you one-shot the ghost. Describe your kill!
So, as he emerges from his spell, Barty jumping into the air, watching the ray turn its gleaming eyes into him, screaming in terror while holding the sigil of Boone, closing his eyes immediately, and then cuts right into the gaping maw, and somehow seems like he's struck through this maw into the Wraith's heart. The dagger glows a hint of like azure blue, and suddenly the Wraith almost seems like it got absorbed into the dagger until it turns into a pile of dust and disperses.
You watch this form just vanish. The vicious dagger still clutched in Bartholomew's hands.
And as he does that, looks right back at Harold. Friends in good places. And he uses a bonus action to hide if he can 10 feet away. Nothing happened here.
You are in.
You can get behind me.
You're in the. Unfortunately, you are in the full open, and you are not a small creature. There is nowhere to hide.
He hides. He hides in between Harold's legs. He's 5'6".
So he
just hides
Harold,
in between.
you watch Bartholomew pull off this insane maneuver. A man who you thought was a certified USDA coward 6 minutes ago, and then goes, runs behind you, points you towards an enemy, and crouches down on the ground behind you.
You did good, Barty. You did good.
If the enemies are on the ceiling, you're going for the floor. That's optimal hiding path.
I can't believe
Your
that. Do you have
strength
any
is-
idea how nasty that ghost is? Great pick of thing to take out right away. That was awesome. Okay, super
Your
cool.
strength gives me strength.
Go for Beach.
Hey, beach. This beach. So the thing's on the ceiling.
Yes, there's two of them. One is this large black pudding, and the other is this like stalker that is clung to the side of the wall.
Great. I would like to try to use Shatter, because I've never done that before. And I would like to try.
Pretty good.
Yeah, and because they're standing next to each other, like slithering. I don't really know about that. I'm not sure.
They're up there.
They're up there.
Since they're next
Attached.
to each other, I'm gonna use that, and that is a con save of 14.
Con save 14. Okay.
I do want to say the vicious dagger. It says properties: finesse, light, thrown, and nick, which I think is hilarious.
That's extremely
given
funny.
Nick is the wielder.
A pretty incredible con save from the black pudding, which gets a 17.
Ooh, black pudding.
Boo.
The nasty boy gets a 14.
Okay. That is the con save.
So they both succeed.
They both succeed, which means they take half damage from shatter.
Nice. Alright, great. That's something.
You all watch Beej strike a power cord, let out a terrible scream, and begin to watch the air around those two warp and distort until it shatters, along with a good chunk of the ceiling that is inorganic material and therefore takes max damage, and it sort of falls and crumbles around them in a heap.
That's
8.
8.
So
Wait,
8.
disadvantage?
No.
Oh,
They're saving, so there's no
Oh.
obstacles. It was 8 after having. It was 16 down to 8.
8, okay. Yeah, great. You guys, the audio over there is just clipping pretty hard, so I kind of have to stop and parse for a few moments. But you do something very important by doing that. You shatter the part of the ceiling that they are standing on, which means they fall to the ground.
onto beach.
They were
I did
back.
that.
They were back a little bit.
Disgusting.
The ooze is now only 5 feet from Beige. The stalker is 10 feet from Beige. They both fall. The ooze takes falling damage. The stalker does not. Again, they seem almost impervious to it. 3 points of damage.
Moves like a
to
monk.
the ooze.
Through the air.
All right.
Moves like a pile of mud.
Ugh. All right, Beige, that's your action. You have your bonus action. You have your movement. Do you have anything you want to do with it? This is also a moment where I remind everybody, you can burn a heroic... If memory serves, I have to check. I think in Advanced 5e, you can burn an inspiration to give somebody else disadvantage. Give that a little peruse.
Whoa.
I know you can burn it to give somebody else advantage, but I'm not sure. I'll check. I'll check the rules really quick.
Oh, wow.
Too late now.
I
So,
might back up a bit. I back up.
okay.
Back. I might back the hell up.
Back
a
off.
little bit.
Back up for Beige.
Okay. Beige backs up. You are going to take an attack of opportunity as you do.
There we go.
That is a 17 to hit. Does that hit?
I think it does. Yay.
Okay. This is actually going to be pretty gnarly. You've seen this creature sort of moving slowly, not doing as much damage to your compatriots as maybe you thought it would. And then as you take this blow, you sort of figure out the larger tactic. As it lets out this one swing, it is a crushing and terribly powerful blow that falls on you. You take 5 points of bludgeoning damage and 22 points of acid damage.
Oh.
As this huge arm slams down into you, and terrible acid begins to burn at your skin and your armor. If you are wearing non-magical armor, you take a permanent -1 penalty to the AC that armor offers you.
Jeez.
What? Oh, what?
So your AC goes down by 1. Don't get hit again.
It's this guy. Blob, bro.
I mean, I doubt his name is Blob.
It could be.
Bob.
It's funny. Watch it when you say, and we're going to start at level 6. Everyone's like, we get to start at level 6. And then they get into the first normal combat and they're like, we started at level 6. Not like
No
this.
inventory to rely on.
All right.
He's got nothing. He's got his laurels. He has his abs and he has his instruments. And that's
What
really
else
all
does
he's got.
Beige
Your
need?
armor burns away, you see, like, rippling pecs.
Just
and
rippling abs. Huge. It crops your leather armor. Beige is like, I like this better, actually. Joke's on you,
He's gonna
idiot.
die. He's just gonna die soon.
That's alright.
But with
What
your
do you
movement,
have?
you actually do get very far away as you then take the
But
rest of your...
genuinely, he still dies soon.
Beach is at 3 HP, everybody. Just a warning.
Oh my.
The bard, I don't know what to do. The bard ran into the front
Good,
lines of
I'm
combat.
here. Beach is like, I can still see the sun outside. What is going on? I can see the door. Beach heads for the door. He's like, hey guys, that's crazy.
It is really funny from the outside perspective to be like, we've got a paladin, we've got a couple of knights, a rogue, and then we have a musician who's with us.
It'll play some tunes.
It's just too good. All right, Lemon, you're up.
Cool. The stalker. How's he looking?
One of them looks quite desperately injured now that it has taken so many blows. That is the one that is locked in single combat with Hilver. The other has only taken one minor wound, but has just fallen into melee combat. You are 15 feet from one and about 30 feet from the other.
Cool. Helver's all about that. And I'm just gunslinging at him.
So you're going after the same one that Hilver is attacking. You're just blam, blam, blam.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep, exactly.
All right, it's going to take
something
that
I've
+2 to AC.
forgotten yeah. Something I've forgotten to do. I still have my familiar out. I'm just giving myself the help action.
You all watch as this little friendly-looking seahorse floats in front of Hilver's gun and blows a big bubble that acts as a scope and lets you see more precisely to fire.
Yep. Perfect. So first hit, advantage. Rolled the same things. So that is a 13 plus 12, so a 25.
Hits.
And then
What did you think I was going to say next? Now remember, that
Never know.
advantage would not go to the second attack.
Oh, okay. All right. Then it was without the second roll is a 10 plus 12, so a 22.
Yeah, that hits.
Right.
What a mean way to teach creatures what guns are.
Yeah. When you hear bang, run.
You know, I hadn't considered the fact that we are shooting guns in Cavern. It is so loud in this enclosed space. Every monster within like a mile of this entryway is gonna be like, interesting noise.
And the ones we're fighting are specifically designed without like the ability to make noise, so we're doing the opposite of what they're adapted to.
Yeah.
You know,
That is going to be 20 points of damage.
okay, still alive.
Um,
Wait, did you say 20?
20.
Not still alive. this creature with its strange half mouth. You watch as it takes a wide step to get around Hilver to jam another blow up into his ribs, and you take that opportunity and bang, and it catches it in the forehead and falls back dead.
And then bonus action, I'm reloading.
Okay, bonus action, you reload.
I don't know if this is home rules or not, but we can just explain it really quick. My revolver has 6 bullets in it. Bonus action to reload.
Yes, we are trying our best to keep abreast of the loading rules in Advanced 5e as well as we can.
Yes, I'm just using a spin down for that.
And just to make sure this is clear, Advanced 5e is our protest against the stupid 2024 rule set name they gave what they could have just called Advanced 5e. Like, it was right there! Effortless. Okay.
And I'm going to make my way over towards Hilver.
Okay, great.
Just to make some room for myself.
Oh, and I have to cross my ghost off my list. Too bad. So sad. I can't make dead rhyme with that. All right. Did you say you moved somewhere?
I'm just heading towards Hilver just to distance myself a little bit from what's on the ground right now.
Okay, that'll put you 40 feet from the ooze and 45 feet from the other stalker.
I want to stay within 40 of the stalker.
Very easy. You just take one step forward.
Perfect.
All right, it is the Black Pudding's turn. The Black Pudding is no longer in melee combat with anybody. It is going to move past you, Harold. Your thick armor, you are maybe surprised to find that these creatures begin to just ignore you. Literally acting as if you are not there because they cannot hit you anyways. This thing moves past you, and much to your terror, Bartholomew, it rears up to slam down into Bartholomew. My sleeves are too long. Anybody else? Something happened, and I keep reaching up, and they keep being like this high up, and I'm like, get out of here. It bothers me. All right, it's gonna make that strike. Sorry, I'm looking at all of the abilities that my cool ghost doesn't get to use. Oh, come on, 8.
It's
afraid of the dagger. It won't go near.
Bartholomew does a standing, no momentum backflip, just to get over the attack, landing back on his feet. All right, that's that thing's whole turn. Super cool turn, guy. All right, it is that one stalker's turn. Hoping for the best, man. It's going to go after you, Harold. It's going to try with at least its first attack.
Do these creatures feel hope?
Make an insight check, actually. This is kind of fun.
Overwhelming despair, actually.
It's going to give itself
19.
advantage. What'd you get?
19.
With a 19, you watch this thing run up to you. It tries to stab once, dodges around, tries to stab again, missing both. It doesn't seem to be able to connect with you. And then it shifts around to be standing next to you and next to this Black Pudding. Quickly looking around, its eyes start to quickly dart between you and Bartholomew as it is constantly keeping track of what both of you are doing. With a 19 insight, there is no emotion of any kind registering on these creatures, other than maybe mild shock in response to unfamiliar things. They are purely crunching the numbers and maneuvering. Like, this creature has just put itself in terrible danger to be in a more tactically advantageous position. It has left itself open to being attacked because it has put itself somewhere where it can more easily attack your allies and you. So you are seeing a complete lack of anything other than victory mindset coming from these creatures.
Not for long.
That is your turn, Hilver.
Ooh. All right.
You ever
I guess
blink
I'll see
and you
the-
realize it's the first time you've blinked in 10 minutes? And your eyes burn and you're like, no! All right,
Oh no.
Most gaming sessions.
pop off, Hilver.
All right. I'm running up side by side with Bartholomew. We'll be like, that was a good stabbing and ghost slaying. Let's get this blob out of the way.
What's your
And I will-
movement speed? You're
45?
far.
Oh, okay.
Your movement speed's 45?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Okay, so you have two choices. You can be next to Bartholomew, but not able to attack any enemies, or you can be next to Harold and be able to attack the Stalker.
I guess I will bonus action to dash then,
Sure.
and
Let
get
me,
that
let me
5
pause
extra
you.
feet movement. Huh?
When you enter within 10 feet of me, my aura of alacrity goes off, and you gain an additional 10 feet. So you might not have to burn that bonus action.
Ah.
You will just be able to attack the Black Pudding if you take a diagonal step. That'll
Okay.
put you next to Bartholomew, able to attack the Black Pudding, but not able to attack the Stalker. How does that sound?
Sounds good, yeah.
Great, so that's where
Alright.
you are.
And like channeling the key or the focus points or the focus energy into my attacks. My attacks will be doing force damage instead of bludgeoning when I'm hitting this, because it's a giant blob and I want to like try to hit into its energy.
Smart.
So,
Like it.
all right. Well, of my 2 main attacks, one was a nat 1, the other was a nat 20.
Hey, that's the same as hitting on both.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Great.
Epson printer software update was just like, hey, I know you're in the middle of a stream, but could I just cut in? Absolutely. You go to swing the first time and this ooze like warps around it, and then you rear up and smash your fist down into the center of its body, and you feel yourself hit something vital in this creature.
All right. So it's what I rolled doubled plus my modifier, right?
Yes, you doubled the
All
damage on the dice.
All right. That is
Although I should give you
9
the
points of
option,
force.
in advanced 5e, they also do, you can just roll twice instead of doubling if you want.
all right. I will definitely take that option then, because I rolled a 2 on the D8.
I'll say in the future, let's declare which one we're doing before, but I'll let it slide this
Okay.
time.
All right. So 12 damage instead.
12 damage, great.
Force. And I will try to stunning strike it with a focus point.
Yeah,
So
sure, go for it.
do,
Con save?
16 con save.
6. That fails.
Yes.
You all watch this creature, like, shudder and shake and lock up, unable to move, as you do get the sense that there is some kind of system, there's something that's holding this thing together that can be frozen and hurt.
All right. And it's so until the start of my next turn that it's stunned.
Wow, huge.
And I will, since I've already used the key, focus point, I'll probably just do a regular bonus action unarmed strike again.
Yeah.
And I have an advantage because it's stunned. So that's a dirty 20 to hit.
Dirty 20 definitely hits. You get the sense that this thing is easy to hit.
Right. All right, and that's 11 points of force damage.
Oof. The ooze's form starting to get a little bit more unstable, starting to almost separate, like poorly emulsified mayonnaise. This like clear liquid is starting to separate from this black liquid and leak out onto the ground as you are starting to break down whatever it is that holds this creature together.
Yeah, like my punch hits it and it like sends a splatter maybe like against the wall, and like the little extra spray I kind of like just do a little like back bend to avoid as it hits the other wall.
Nice. Harold.
Yeah, Harold, he has his gun drawn. He quickly holsters it, pulls out the blade, seeing these things come into melee combat again, and draws his offhand across it, and it illuminates in this blue light. And he casts Magic Weapon upon his sword.
A perfect maneuver.
And he's going to run past the Stalker, taking an attack of opportunity if necessary, to swing down at the blob.
Sure, I will say you can hit the blob from where you are.
Okay.
It's
In
just
that case, I'll stay
diagonal
where I
to
am.
you.
In that case, I activate and then swing across.
Great.
And that breaks the Shield of Faith, right?
No.
Shield of Faith is just concentration. So
Magic
if I get hit,
Magic
it
weapon
goes
is
away.
not concentration.
Oh, it is concentration. Yeah, maybe.
Okay,
I
so
don't know if
Shield of
that's
Faith.
what it
Yep,
is.
can't cast 2 concentration spells. So Shield of Faith,
Yeah.
boom, fails as your weapon is magically enchanted. And I will say, the effect of the black pudding can only happen to non-magical weapons. So I would think that the stacks would clear. That it would go from -2 to not having any, right?
Regular.
Because it
I
says
can
it can
see
only
that.
be on a non-magical
Yeah.
weapon. So I think when you make the weapon magical, it like fills in those gaps.
Fair. Clarification though, it is not concentration for magic weapons, so it can stay up.
Really?
That's a
Oh,
good
wow.
spell. Did it use? It might have used to have been concentration.
Yeah, I can see that. That is going to be 2 attacks. The first one was a 19 plus 6, so 25, not quite 20.
Definitely hits. I wish
And
we were
a
playing
16
Pathfinder.
plus
You'd be
6.
throwing crits out left and right.
Yeah. 16 plus 6 as well, so that's going to be
Big
a little
hits.
2d8.
The
with
stalker
advantage.
is going to use its reaction. You should have been watching me to attack you.
Okay,
And-
fair enough.
And remember, since the black pudding is
Why do I try?
stunned, you have advantage.
This
Okay, then I will roll again.
it's a good thing these stalkers don't feel emotions, because it just blink. You just feel it like dink off your armor.
Boing. I did not roll any natural 20s, so they still are
Aw.
the same hit. So that's going to be 17 points of damage.
Ugh.
And I'm going to smite on the second attack.
Nice.
I'm tired of this thing being alive. This thing, it destroys armor and weapons. I can't let it survive.
It does.
Oh no, I used my bonus action. No! I forgot about the new paladin spells.
Yeah, did
I'll
you see how
remember what
it
it
started to feel a little crazy that you could do all that in the same turn?
Alright, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna smite him twice.
Yeah, they jumped on that at some point. Absolutely hilarious. You added the extra from magic weapon, right? The +1 that it gets.
Yes, I did.
Okay, just wanted to make sure on the damage. Okay, sounds good to me. That's your action, your bonus action. No movement. Are you just gonna stay where you are?
I'll stay where I am. This is good for me being up in the business.
Makes literally perfect sense. Bartholomew! You were almost attacked and you managed to dodge out of the way. You are now surrounded by allies, but you are also up in the mix of a pretty nasty melee that is starting to come to an end. What do you do?
Bonus action, disengage, run.
Bonus action, disengage and run. I love it.
Run. As he does that, he turns around and pulls out the blunderbuss and shoots right into the middle, right into the blob.
So you take one step back and fire this blunderbuss forwards. I love it.
It's a 17 hit.
The 17 absolutely hits this creature.
With
Oh,
advantage
right.
too.
Yeah, roll. See if you get that nat 20.
Nope.
Aw.
Well,
Yeah, it's all good. I'll take the 1. That's what, 2d8?
2d8. Goofa doofa. I love the Wild West adventurous flavor, but damn, balance gets a little.
Alright, so that's gonna do 17 points of 17 points of piercing damage, and then everything within 5 feet of it has to make a dex saving throw.
Goodness.
So Harold and the other.
That's a dex saving throw of 15.
Okay, so Harold dex saving throw, and the Stalker needs to make a dex saving throw. Stalker gets a 2, which
And
is a
only
9
2,
with
right?
its +7.
It'll take a 1d8 fire damage.
Nice. Nice.
I got a dirty 20.
I roll 2, right? Because I'm in melee with it.
You are not within. Oh, yes, you are. Thank you for being honest.
Okay. Yeah, I rolled a 19 though.
Okay, great. So only it is going to take that damage. So roll that d8.
6.
6. Nice, nice, nice. You step back, pull up this blunderbuss. Both creatures, the the stalker's head tilts to the side. The black pudding just sort of lifts, and then this gun goes off, and the black pudding is scattered, torn apart, and burned into smoldering nothing as it up against the wall, and the wall starts to sizzle with acid as you kill the black pudding. Bartholomew putting up the kill count this session. We love to see it.
Just because character and imagining this guy carrying a blunderbuss, Bartholomew knocks himself prone by shooting this thing.
I love it.
Some little guy just.
Bartholomew is knocked back 5 feet prone on the ground as he take that. Love that character choice. Huge. Okay, that's Bartholomew's doing. So for those of you keeping score, our campaign kill count now has actual numbers: 2 for Bartholomew, 1 for Lemon. Up next in the initiative is Beej. Let's see if Beej can get on the leaderboard. She can't. He can't.
Here's the thing, Beej. This is very deep. This is a deep secret fact about Beej. Beej is gonna get real. Believe it or not, Beej doesn't want to fucking die. So, Beej would like to cast Cure Wounds on himself.
Yeah, naturally.
Beej is close to death. That's 25 points of healing damage.
25.
Whoa!
Thank God.
That was a heck of a roll.
I know.
I didn't even know that spell could heal that much.
It is. I have
It's
48 plus 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
so did you
And I
upcast
did
it
get
then?
one of them was an 8. Yeah, so little known fact, if you're wondering, yeah, Beej actually doesn't feel like dying, mostly.
Anything else?
I don't think so, actually. That we're chill.
I love that.
I'm kind of out of the way for right now.
The
and I
camera
have some long range.
The camera
Awesome.
pans to the left of this like horror campaign, and Beej has out an Arizona iced tea and a towel, and it's just like, oh my goodness.
He's
It's
taking
just-
up a ring.
Recovery time.
The margarita person from the Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
No, that's it.
Jurassic World.
It pans over, and Beej has a shaker. Oh my goodness!
That'd be
It's
really
making a
bad.
cocktail. I love it. That's fantastic. Okay, great.
Give me 5.
He
Please
did
get
consider
away from me
risking
too,
his life
please.
to kill the blob, but you know.
Bob got killed, so we're good.
You did already.
Yeah, I
Okay,
got
well I
one.
was looking for my turn.
Got
Okay,
one
okay.
of us.
Okay.
Okay. Awesome. All right, so that is Beej's turn. Lemon, you are up. This thing is largely unhurt. It has not taken much damage in this combat.
It's about to be.
Okay. I believe you.
Yeah, so if I'm within 40 of that, that's perfect. I'm going to shoot me bang bangs it. I have advantage because of my the help action. Seahorse, much better. I went from that 1 to a 10 plus 12. So
22 hits.
And then second hits. Nice. Got 17 plus 12, so a 29.
Definitely hits. Everybody make sure to keep track of spell slots and things like that. Just that we're
Oh, I have none.
keeping honest. No, I know. I was just trying to make sure that
Right.
we're on top of things as we're kicking around.
Oh, definitely. 16 points of damage.
16 points of damage. Okay.
Yeah. And it has disadvantage on its next attacks.
Nice. That's really good to know. As if they haven't been able to hit anything anyway, so.
Yeah, and that is my turn.
Okay. On this thing's turn, it disengages with its bonus action. Scurries 25 feet across the room to that door. On all fours, it's really bizarre to watch. It lopes like a dog across the floor and then stands, throws the handle open, and slams the hatch behind it as it runs away.
A quick question from Beej. Does it pass Beej?
Or is that the opposite
Or is it the
direction?
other way?
Opposite direction.
Okay.
This creature flees, runs through the door, slamming it behind it, and then takes an action on the other side that you cannot see.
This combat brought to you by the Feet Sentinel.
One of these days.
All right.
Guys, I don't be wanting that thing getting away.
Hilver, you're up.
All right. So it closed the door on us?
Yes, but because we are playing Advanced 5e, you can open a door as a part of your movement.
Okay.
And you get a lot
Shoot
of
name
still
movement?
because you started to turn in my aura.
Okay, so I will use 55 feet to catch up to it as best I can.
You run 55 feet, you throw that door open, and you are in a much larger room. You see, you are standing in a room that is easily 120 feet across. It is a massive circle. A huge room with incredibly high ceilings. It's like a giant dome that you are standing inside of. You must be now. You didn't realize, as you get your bearings, you realize that this whole time you've been walking, the ground hasn't been flat. It has been at an angle, and you have been going deeper underground as you have been running. As you open this door, you are suddenly in this room, and all across it are columns that go up to the ceiling. So it looks like a forest of leafless trees in front of you, and you cannot see the creature. Make a perception check.
All right.
I just rolled the worst stealth check of my life.
Oh, man.
Please roll bad.
Is a 22 bad?
No!
Oh.
You see 10 feet up one of the pillars that's not too far away from you. Clung to the side of it is this wounded creature staring out at you. This room is gigantic. You can't see much of anything in here. You can see the columns and you can see the vague shapes beyond that, but without dark vision, do you have dark vision?
Yeah, 60 feet of it.
So with that, in that case, for 60 feet out, you can see. So you can see into about the midpoint of the room. But beyond that, it goes to blackness. And you can see that on the walls around you are more doorways. Identical to the one that you have just walked through.
All right. So it's about 10 feet up?
Yeah, it is about 10 feet up and about 10 feet in. So it's like 30 feet from you. Wait, it's like 15, 17, it's like 17 and a half feet from you. Because it is diagonal up.
All right.
Punch
Can I-
so hard that there's an air burst from your fist.
Can I Misty Step into the space above it?
Yeah, you'll fall.
All right. Can I fall onto it, or?
You can make a melee attack as you fall. If you want it to fall with you, that attack will have to be a grapple.
All right. I will. Yeah. So I guess from here, I see it. I Misty Step above it, and then I will take my 2 attack actions.
Great.
And rules for grapple.
I think it's your athletics versus its acrobatics.
Yeah, it can choose strength or dexterity saving throw.
Dex.
All right, and DC is 8 plus my proficiency bonus plus it says strength, but for monks they can also use their dexterity for their grapples.
Advanced
themselves.
5e. Say it slower.
They're going
It's,
nice.
no, okay, so it's 8 plus your proficiency plus your dex. What does that add up to?
15.
15, okay. So I'm going to make an acrobatics check or a dexterity check. What does it specify a skill? Is it athletics or acrobatics, or is it strength or dexterity?
Strength, dexterity, saving throw.
Saving throw.
Wow.
Okay. It has a +7 to this roll. And it rolls a 13 for a total of 20. Are you going to use your second attack to do the same thing?
Second attack's just going to be a regular attack, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I would need to roll an 8 or lower, so your odds are not spectacular.
Yeah.
They're not bad.
All
It's
right.
close to 50-50, just not quite.
And that's a 21 to hit.
21 definitely hits. Spencer, what was that?
The advantage rolls for heroic inspiration. You can roll it on anything. Any roll you make that includes damage die and attack roll, saving throws, all that. You can use it. You can't give it to anybody else, and you can't give disadvantage. It's only that you can apply it to attack or damage.
Somebody can give creatures disadvantage now. I don't know who it is, then.
Yeah, I think a fighter, one of the battle masters or something.
That'd be fun.
Okay. And so that's 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Nice.
And this one I am going to make a stunning strike too, as I'm like falling by it, striking it into its like
Sure.
where its spine should be, I hope. And it's got to do a 16 con save.
16 con save, okay. Whoa, that dice went far. No! A 12!
All right, so now then it's stunned.
It's stunned, but still on the pillar. So it just like it freezes up, but still stuck to the pillar.
All right. And
It looks hurt, but not that badly hurt. This thing really didn't take a lot of damage in the fight. You then fall 10 feet.
yeah, or if I went into the fight, I guess 15 feet, right? Because I was above it.
The intervals of 10 are the only thing that matters for falling damage, which you are
Oh,
probably going to
okay.
reduce to 0 anyways, because monk.
Yeah.
Well, that might
Trying
not be
to
yet.
just
I don't know if
roll.
that's a level 6 thing.
I think it was level 2 for slow fall. Here, wait, I need to go to the actual
Careful, there's 2 bludgeoning damage on the line.
level 4.
Careful, everybody.
You never know.
We're
2 damage
we're heading
can
towards
do it.
DPK.
Okay, so I use my reaction for slow fall to reduce any damage you take from the fall by an amount equal to 5 times the monk level. So that clears the 2 damage.
All right, so you
As I use
reduce
a
that
reaction
2
to-
damage by 30. You sneak by Ilver.
And I use deflect attacks on the floor since I reduced the damage to 0.
I punch the floor. I love it. All right, Harold, you're up. The door is open, and
Alright, it's on this pillar, guys.
I assume you actually can see some of this action happening. Do you have dark vision, or are you just normal sight?
I do not have dark vision, but
you
I
don't
did
see-
have light.
That light would not go this far. You just see him
Then,
run and just hear. Boom, 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 boom.
It's up there. Okay. Harold starts running that direction.
Okay, you just start running. You have light cast on you, correct? On your shield?
Yeah, on my shield.
Okay, then as you run in, you look up and you can see this thing frozen to the side of the column.
He's 15 feet up.
He's, yeah, about 15. Well, no, sorry. You got me confused. He was 15 feet away from you, Stefan. He is 10 feet up. He was just 10 feet
Yeah.
over and 10 feet up, which adds up to like 17-something feet. So he's only 10
Gotcha.
feet up, but he's 17 feet away once you step through the door.
And I have 40 feet of movement. Could I get up under him, or am I like at the doorway?
You could get under him. It'll just be tight. That's all.
Okay. I'll get under him in case anybody knocks him over. But I pull out my gun and I start shooting.
Sure, you have advantage on these hits. Actually, wait a minute. Are these also crits?
No, I think that's only for unconscious.
Okay.
Yeah, stunned is only for where is it? Oh no, wait, they do have the incapacitated condition, but not unconscious. Yeah.
Let's
I got a 19 and a 21.
A 19 and a 21 would both hit regardless. So start to roll damage while I look up really quick whether or not you need to double it. I don't think you do, but always best to check, right? Stunned
Yeah.
condition. Oh no, it brought me to the whole big rules section. Come on.
I hate that.
Here, I can put a link in the
Incapacitated,
chat.
incapacitated. No, it is not a crit. I can't open the chat, so that is unfortunately not very
Oh
helpful
right,
for me.
sorry.
I did 18 damage total.
18 damage. All right, starting to look worse. Starting to look pretty bad.
Does it take any special effects from your rifle shots too, or revolver shots?
No, not. We realized this because I just reflavored javelin instead of using an actual revolver, so I don't have sound.
Okay.
So no additional conditions.
I admire your dedication to flavor to take the range and damage decrease to be like, but I want him to have a gun. It's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the way we
He
have to
runs in, he
rule
says,
it,
He's up there.
it's one of those like bear pistols that shoot shotgun rounds. That's a real thing. If you ever
Whoa.
give that a little look-saroo. All right, that's Harold's turn, right? You have anything else you want to do?
That's it. Also, for flavor, on the shield, there's a little slot to put the gun into. It like rises up on the side, so it goes
I love that.
and takes the recoil under the shield.
Perfect. All right, Bartholomew, you're up. You are a million miles away from this combat.
Bartholomew is just steadily getting himself up and just beginning to reload the blunderbuss. And then just I guess I gotta use an action to get up anywhere, so
Yeah, so it's half your movement to stand up, so you have 15 feet left, and then you use your bonus action to pour some powder and some shot into your blunderbuss.
He's just stumbling 15 feet then at that point. There's
Okay.
nothing else he can just
You'll live forever. Okay. Go for Beach.
Beach here. Beach is far away.
Pretty far. Further than Bartholomew, in fact.
You are 75 feet from the combat.
Ooh. Beach is gonna have to take a run.
Yeah, Beach is still just sipping the airs on iced tea.
Yeah.
Actually.
He polishes it off and he's step forward.
If you run and then action dash, Beach, you will end in almost an identical spot to where Hilver was, where you are that, but rather than being 10 and 10, you will be 15 and 10. 15 feet away ground-wise, and then it's 10 feet up, so like 20 feet.
It just uses your action to do it. But if you have a bonus action spell, you can use that still.
Bonus action spell I can use.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't need to be that close, shockingly, typically, for a beach. Beach is pretty good, not so close. I just need to get close enough.
Would you have a spell in mind?
Well, almost all my spells are like 60 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you
but I
could
think I'll
stay
get-
in the doorway and still have your
I was gonna
action.
say, I think I'll get like around 30.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's better.
You
Which is what I'll
you would need to dash to get within 30 feet of the creature, but you could be within 50 feet without dashing.
do. That's fine. I won't dash. I'll
Okay.
just get as close as I can. And then you said I could.
If you don't dash, you can
Yes,
use an
sir.
action
Yes, sir.
spell.
Oh,
You can
okay.
do either one.
Yeah.
You
I'll
don't
do
dash.
story whips. Story whips.
Starry whips.
Story whips. I probably will use story whips if I'll be honest. That's what Beach just got. This is strongest move.
What is it?
Story whips.
What is it actually?
Story whips.
Oh, sorry.
Our poor listeners.
Starry whips.
And that is. It was very close to being in that one, but it's a 13.
Ooh.
That's a fun new spell.
I know. I mean, actually,
Try you said starry whips several times. I said, "What are you even talking about?"
you-
Let me
you-
know.
you don't-
No, I just didn't know starry
Wow.
whips either.
Huge last sentence on Starry
what's
Wisp.
happening? Does anyone smell burnt toast?
On a hit, the target emits dim light in a 10-foot radius and cannot become
Wow.
invisible. Now, that might not sound like that big a deal, but in Advanced 5e, the benefit that hiding gives you is the invisible condition. So it basically makes it so that they can't hide.
That's crazy. It was how much damage? 13?
No, it was 13 to hit. So
13 to hit.
A 13 does not hit.
What?
Oh, wait.
Fizzles.
Did you roll with advantage because it's stunned?
No,
No. Roll again.
it's a 22.
Haha.
That does hit. So go ahead and
Wow.
hit him with that 2d8 radiant damage.
That is. Wah, wah. It's a 5.
But he's illuminated.
And then it starts
No.
to... What? this 10-foot radius of dim light as this creature begins to glow. You can now all see it in pretty grotesque detail. You see these like very sunken eyes, these deep wrinkles that sort of give the shape, that gaunt mummified look, that smooth skin where the mouth should be, and the countless wounds that pepper its body. You can see this strange armor that looks to be riveted into the flesh of the creature so that it cannot be stripped off easily, and you see that it has 2 daggers across its back, or it would. One of them is currently in its hand. So that's your movement and your action. Beej, you have your bonus action if you wanted to do anything with it. Lemon, you're up next.
He feels good about it. Good.
Okay, Lemon, you're up.
Sorry. Lemon sneezes.
That's his action.
Yeah.
Now, I will give you the coveted furthest guy from the combat award. You are 90 feet.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to use my full 30 feet. Does 30 feet get me through the door?
No. 30 feet gets you halfway through the room the prior part of the combat was happening in.
Nice. How far is that door?
The door
Just to get into the room.
is 35 feet from you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to. This is a little interesting. I'm going to go my 30 feet. Bonus action. Second wind. Heal myself up again.
Nice.
Alright. 10 healing. And then that also gives me another 15 movement speed.
Nice.
So I go through the door.
No, you are still 20 feet from the door.
I was 35 feet.
You were
wasn't I?
90 feet from the combat, which put you like
Yeah.
65 feet from the door. So you ran 30, which got you halfway through the room.
How was I running through the door?
You ran, when you fired off those shots,
Yeah.
you ran backwards away from the combat, which puts you over pretty close to the hatch.
Gotcha. Okay. The only thing is,
You were, so here's what was happening.
Yeah,
You were
I
in that
got it,
combat,
I
and then
got
you
it.
said, I want to run over to Hilver. Hilver
Yep.
had stood in the entryway that whole time to fight
Yep.
that creature. So when you did that, you ran back to the entryway.
Yeah. Gotcha. Alright. I'm going to action dash then to get another 30 feet. So now am I through the door?
Yes, now you're at that 10 foot kind of interspot.
Sweet. That's all I got.
Okay, great. The adjustment from theater of the mind to a map is a tough one. It's a tough one in its day.
Yeah.
It's the dead black pudding's turn. It just dissolves a little bit more. All right, it's the stalker's turn. It's still stunned, right?
Yeah, it does have its movement though.
What?
Yeah. So it can't take an action, bonus action, or reaction. Its concentration's broken. It can't speak, which it can't do already.
But it's
And-
incapacitated, which makes its movement speed 0, right?
It doesn't say that in incapacitated.
It does in 5e. I don't know about 2024.
All right, listen, we're
think
all
I'm
learning
using the
together.
new
This is
one.
the benefit of us doing this as a big group here. Let's
Yeah.
take a quick peek. Look at the actual. We're gonna do a
Yeah,
little.
I think this is the 2024.
Sorry, I'm trying to use D&D Beyond.
Yeah, the 2024 rule seems like it's an oversight, according to the internet, that they are allowed to move, even though it makes no sense. It's not specifically written that incapacitated restricts movement.
Interesting.
That's crazy.
So you can move your body, but you can't speak, I guess.
If they successfully save, they get reduced movement, but if they fail, they can still move.
Oh,
That's hilarious. It's definitely a rules oversight.
I don't know. They've already published 2 errata, and it wasn't on the list.
They just don't like monks.
Oh,
Wodsy's a monk hater company.
I think. Wait, can they? If they're stunned in Baldur's Gate 3, can you still move? Because there's.
Hey
think there's
guys,
something.
I'm looking at incapacitated in 2014. They could always move.
Mm.
An incapacitated creature can't take actions or reactions. That's it.
Yeah.
So unless
But
the ability
would stun paralyze you in 2014?
Maybe.
This is the kind of fast-paced, action-packed adventure that you can only get on Foolhardy Press. No, I think this is good, right? We're making the jump. We're going to work these things through live. Part of the goal of this was to be like a home game that you could watch, right? We're not shooting for too much in the way of polish here. Let's take a look.
It is Legacy. Yeah, Legacy definition, a stunned creature is incapacitated, can't move, and can speak only falteringly.
Yeah, they add in an additional can't move. So yeah, if they succeed, they are reduced, but if they fail, they can move freely. Nonsense.
All of that like stunning energy goes to different parts of their senses, but their like mobility is still within them, I guess.
I'll tell you what. I mean, they either did it for balance without thinking about the mechanics, or it's a whoopsie daisy. And at some point, they're going to wake up and smell the roses.
It seems like a good addition for an extra YouTube short.
Honestly,
truly bizarre.
Should the DM allow incapacitated for stun?
I'll check Sage Advice. That's the other good place. So for those of you watching now or in the future, the Sage Advice column is where a lot of these like weird answers get sort of polished out. The 2024 Player's Handbook and DM's Guide are both relatively new, so who knows? Maybe this is just an oversight. For now, I'm going to assume that it is a balance thing, but this creature also has nowhere to run, really? So let's say because a success makes its speed only halved, let's say it's fully stunned, and I will research this more. It does not move on its turn. It cannot take actions or reactions. It does nothing. Hilver, you're up.
All right. It is no longer stunned then, and I will, I guess, grab my little insignia of Cradle and cast Toll the Dead as I speak some otherworldly, alien-sounding words into its ears, and it's got to do a 16 Wisdom save.
I think this thing is wise beyond its years.
Wisdom save.
I see a glint in its eye.
3.
Uh-oh. All
3.
right. And since it's been damaged, that's 2d12. And now I have to find the 2d12 look like those tiny d20s, right? Yeah, that's 12. All right.
Yeah.
So that's 15 necrotic damage.
15 points of necrotic damage. This thing clings dully to the edges of life, but is almost dead.
Alright. And I can only bonus action attack, I think, when I've done like a martial attack, right? So I will kind of keep an eye on it from down here. Moving up closer, I guess, to the bottom of the pillar. And that'll be...
The assumption is that the creature is able to, and I quote, stumble around in a daze. So if you don't manage to successfully stun it, you like get it in the leg, you give it a Charlie horse and it like limps away. If you actually stun it, it can't do anything productive except for limp away from the combat, which I actually think is fine. Having it described that, I wish they had described it that way. I feel like they could have put an extra sentence in there to help me understand.
Also, if it still have movement, that would be acceptable. It limps away from combat. Full movement, stun, can't do anything else, I think is still nonsense. Limp away, though, for sure. I could totally see half movement, full stun.
We can. You know what? Let's call that a house rule for now, because I think that makes sense. Because what it tells me is, if it fails, it gets this list. If it saves, it gets this one thing, which would imply if it fails, it gets the whole list, including that one thing. So let's say its movement speed would have been halved. It doesn't matter. This thing's got like 3 HP left. Let's just keep rolling.
Nice.
Okay. Harold.
Harold, I don't know if I can do this. I've never tried. Harold is going to run this last bit of movement and jump into the air and swing his sword. Can I do that? Can I swing my sword at the top of my jump?
Yep. So the real question is, what's your strength modifier?
Strength modifier is +3.
Then no, you can't. You cannot get high. Wait, yes, you could. Because you could jump 3 feet, and then your reach would get the rest of the way up, adding that, like, 5 feet to the top of it. Adding that, like... No, so it's half your height, so it's another 3 feet, which would get you to the 10. That's the real rule, which is just annoying.
Nice. And I do that, and I swing.
So basically what happens is, if you get a 10-foot running start, which he got, you can jump a number of feet up in the air equal to your strength modifier, and then you can grab a ledge or perform an action on something that is not more than half your height above your head, because that's how far you could reach. So because he is over 6 feet tall, he can jump 3 feet, have a reach of 3 more feet, and then add the 5-foot reach of the weapon for a total of 11 feet, which is enough to get to the creature. Well, this is Dungeons and Dragons, everybody. All right, roll to hit.
I rolled double 11s for my swings, and that's 11 plus 6, so it's 17.
Barely hits.
Woo! And now 2d8. I'm gonna use Heroic Inspiration to re-roll that one.
Nice.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I kind of love re-rolling the damage with the inspiration. That's pretty good.
Nice. That is 20 slashing damage. 22 because it's a magical weapon.
Finish him. Describe your kill.
Harold runs up and swings once, catching it across its side, and kicks off a branch on the way down, and swings again and cleaves the head off.
Nice.
And then lands back down onto the ground.
Okay. You fall that little bit down, and all of you take a moment and look around. This massive room. A moment. Were these the only creatures in here? And no, you don't hear anything else. But these were stealthy creatures as it was. But as far as you're concerned, combat ends. And you are all in this massive room with these columns all over the place.
Do they have any insignias on them or like carvings?
Make a perception check as you start to... Hilver immediately gets to work flipping the bodies over and poking around looking for things.
As you do that, walk in. Y'all killed them already. I'm gonna check the other bodies back there.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't feel to add to Harold's list.
And I got a 21 for my perception check.
21 for your perception check. All right, let me look through my notes really quick, see if I can make sure that you don't miss out on anything. No, I don't need the information about Calhoun Miller.
I do, though.
Yeah, so as you take a closer look, you see that these creatures, Hilver, you get a better look at their features. Again, they have this sort of unnatural look to them. And they really are very hard to pick out from their surroundings. Like, even as you flip this creature over, the armor, this like leathers that it is wearing have been painted and colored. Clearly, they have like some kind of dye to them. And when it is perfectly stationary like this, it's easy to see how it would break up the edges of where the creature was. On its armor in a few places, you see a very stylized symbol. You're not entirely... Wait, you would have... because you've been studying some of these like Deathwoken books, the alphabet that the primacy used, this would be their equivalent of the letter V, just stylized. More focused on finding items, Lemon. Each of the 2 stalkers has 2 daggers. And where that black ooze's body was blown apart, it is chock-a-block full of the bones of small creatures like mice and rats. The ghost is nothing. The ghost disintegrated into ash and fog and left nothing behind.
Well,
The daggers seem to have some kind of very mild enchantment on them. Nothing you'd need to identify to see what exactly it was. It's not even as much as like a +1. It's something very simple. You don't know exactly what it is. Did you have a follow-up question, Hilver?
Oh yeah, I was just going to tell the group. It's like it looks like these things might be like V for Vemeral or something on their insignias here. So if anyone wants to kind of like maybe use a piece of this garment as access or something, might fit well for disguises.
I could use that.
All right, I'll hand that over to you.
You go to pull its armor off, and the armor there's these areas where you saw these like metal things that you thought were like the rivets on Lemon's armor. And then you go to pull it off, and you hear a horrible ripping, snapping sound, and discover that the armor is riveted into the body of this creature. And so as you pull it off, a gout of this like thick black, like dead old blood starts to like leak out of the side.
It's got a little adhesive on it.
I will say, taking the armor off of one of these creatures takes about 10 minutes as you tear the rivets out one by one, until eventually you have a very greasy set of leather armor.
I think I regret what I requested.
Oh, too quiet. Can't hear you.
I think I regret what I requested on this day of giving.
There you
But I'll
go.
take it.
You've this.
I guess there's one more set if Beige needs it. I guess your stuff got burnt a little too, right?
What do you mean? This is you don't like this? You don't think this is
Beach is in the crop top leather armor.
good? Yeah, I guess I'll take it.
All right, you're gonna have to like dissect this side, and I'll dissect the other side. Just kind of give it a good tug. Mind the snapping and the spraying.
It's like, I love Beige because it's like we're playing the Dune RPG, but Timothy Chalamet got his things mixed up and showed up as Willy Wonka.
Oh,
I just love that as an actress, I will rarely ever get to play a himbo, probably never. So, and it, weirdly enough, very fitting. 3 times did I forget I had something to save myself.
wing boots. Didn't use them.
Like, I'm feeling great. This is a good one.
As Beige is talking about how they like the crop top leather armor, Harold looks over and looks down at the winged boots, and just closes his eyes and pinches the bridge of his nose as he realizes.
I click the winged boots active. And I say, yeah, maybe those ones will work next time we fall from a chasm. The wings unfurl.
All right. The floor is yours. You are in this massive room. Many other doorways, similar to the one you had. This is something that would have been a little unfamiliar to you all. This was not, this door was like heavy and had this big like twist to it, but is not particularly modern. There doesn't seem to be any lock on it. The other doors fanning out, spaced every 20 feet or so, have a very similar setup. But you're not sure what the purpose of this room or the purpose of these tunnels is. What do you do? I have the hiccups and I'm trying to really...
Harold is going to go around the perimeter, door to door, putting his ear up against each of them to see if he can hear any sounds coming from any of those chambers.
Go to make a perception check.
While you're doing that, I'm just gonna be in the middle. Pass me all those daggers.
Oh, All right, here you go. It was kind of getting in the way of the armor.
And I'm just gonna cast Identify.
Sure. Do you cast it as a ritual or as an action?
Ritual, I'm letting him do his thing while I do my thing.
Great. So that's going to take about 10 minutes, not too terribly long.
19 on my roll.
19, pretty solid. You start to listen from door to door, and I will say that behind about a quarter of them, you hear movement of some kind. Most of what you're hearing sounds like small animals. Behind one of the doors, you hear actual footsteps, and you hear that same noise that ooze, that black pudding made when it was moving. So there seems to be one other of these like cleanup crews around.
I mark each of the rooms with like a large stone in front of the door that I've heard any noise out of, and then the one with the sound of the creature I'm going to stand next to and hold up my lit shield and wave it around a little bit until I catch somebody's eye, and I point that way and I cross across my throat.
Bartholomew catches it and then just gestures to the rest of the party. I think he says not to go this way, but I guess we'll find out. But
Okay.
what else
Sounds-
are you wanting?
Sounds good. We gotta definitely proceed carefully.
Lemon, around this time, your spell ends as Harold makes his way back to everybody else that you guys can reconvene and make a plan. Harold, this dagger has 2 enchantments on it that are relatively simple, but one of them is far more powerful maybe than you anticipated. The first is prevention against decay and damage from time. This dagger will not rust. It will not dull. This thing is kind of locked in its peak of performance. And the other thing is very confusing. If this dagger is taken outside of this place, it will like disappear and reappear somewhere in this place.
Gotcha.
Specifically, if whatever creature is wielding it drops it, it will vanish and reappear not with that creature in this like superstructure. You have no idea how big this place is, how many different areas, if it's going to open up into an underground city or if it's just interconnected tunnels and rooms. You have no idea what this place looks like. But somewhere in here is a wall, a place, an armory where these daggers would reappear. And in point of fact, as I will ask, does anybody put any of the... we'll say thankfully nobody has put any of the other daggers down, as you all realize that like you're holding them. And you start to kind of look around at each other. You are within the building, so it begs the question, if you were to drop it in here, what would happen?
Might notify their armorer. But maybe the things sometimes drop these on occasion just to send them back there.
What do you all do?
If it broke, I mean, we could do it. We could test it. But I don't think that's the best move. I think we could go fight this thing on the other side of this door.
We need to cough up some blood.
Yeah, we should probably. Matter of fact, this whole time you've been resting. You should probably I would say you probably got a short rest in.
No, it's been like 15 minutes.
I'd say keep doing that while we look around. You'll get there in about an hour.
I will. Let me say something. Let me. The room you just left was not that big. It was like, let me see. It was like maybe 100 feet deep and 25 feet wide. If there is another of these like crews of creatures in one of these rooms, you have a question. Do they just sit in there waiting for intruders, or do they go from room to room? If they go from room to room, your time window is tight. If they sit there and that's the other tunnel with a hatch, you're fine. But you don't know which is the correct answer.
Yeah.
how about we just wait a little bit while, Beige can hide and rest and maybe set up an ambush. I would hate for us to run into things we don't know if you can only hear one thing. Besides, it was only for the blessings of my prophet, my god Boone, that scary, scary ghost was gone. I wouldn't trust my luck again. I don't want to see that thing again. He starts sobbing.
Okay.
Maybe there's only one ghost in this, area, and it came in as support here in the combat. This is out of character. Does that door that I was listening at open out towards me or in to the other chamber?
Out towards you.
Okay. I was thinking about trying to lock it down, so when they tried to get out, it wouldn't be able to. But opening out towards us is a little bit more difficult. No immovable rods, right? Nobody's got an immovable rod.
Plumb out.
Yeah.
What was?
I know you got. You got winged boots.
Yeah.
All right. Harold turns away from Beej. Yeah. Okay, let's keep scoping out the area. I'm gonna set up camp myself next to that door with the scary creature. Beej, keep resting. Anybody who needs to rest, keep doing it. I'm gonna hold down next to this door. Everybody else explore. Find out what you can in this room. Rest if you need to. I'll be sitting here, weapon out.
Okay. Is the plan to take a short rest, or are you guys going to try to sleep for 8 hours in this room?
Short rest, for sure.
Okay, so we got about 45 minutes left on that we have to fill. How are you taking that short rest? We have 2 castings of the light spell still active. Are we resting with light spells on and torches out in the middle of the room? Are we trying to find a little corner to hide in and turning off those light spells and trying to just catch a 45-minute nap and hope that nothing happens? What is the approach here?
The first question is who's resting, because I'm not. I'm taking guard watch at that door in case it opens so I can start attacking it.
And I'm exploring. I have to take my short rest right now, so my light source is away from group.
Yep, I'm exploring.
Okay.
And Hilver?
I'd like to do a little bit of both. I'll just sit by some of these. Can I is there any writing on these columns, or are they just architectural structure?
Completely smooth. You get the sense that go ahead and make an intelligence check. At this same time, Bartholomew and Lemon, are you opening doors? Are you, other than the one dangerous door? What do you mean by exploring?
Going to the other doors and listening in, hearing, trying to hear if I hear any movement.
Yeah, so you would have gotten from Harold what he heard, which is that there's one dangerous door, and there's other doors that sound like they have rodents or other small creatures, and then there are some silent doors.
I open the rodent doors, not the silent doors.
And those ones are marked by the stones, so you'll be able to go straight to them.
Okay.
Yep. Bartholomew's doing the silent doors and he's sneaking around.
Fantastic. Okay. So from the 2 of you, I need perception checks. Spencer, if you are keeping a watch, I need a perception check from you as well. And Hilver, I need an intelligence check. It would be probably investigation to just examine the room and try to figure out what exactly it is you think of the space and what it's for.
On a fucking roll right now.
All right.
It's another
Mine-
20.
Wow. Great.
All right, and my investigation was 19.
19. Okay. I'm going to go investigation and then Spencer's perception and then Michael's, and then we'll end off with Bartholomew's. Okay. So the investigation check. You try to examine this room for a good long while, trying to figure out what exactly this space is for. Eventually, Hilver, as you're looking around, you look up and you see that at the very, very, very top of this pretty huge arced dome, there is some kind of exit. There is some kind of tunnel that goes straight up. And as you're looking around at this supported structure and these bulkhead doors, you get the sense that you are in some kind of either ventilation or drainage system, and that you are standing in a cistern that is dry. Those 2 tunnels you came in were clearly not made for anybody to actually be able to go in and out of them. They seem to be locked down. As you look around with that pretty great investigation, this is either something meant to vent air or vent liquid, probably water. So, yeah, you're basically in a aquifer or an aqueduct with just nothing in it.
Well, water is definitely important to most civilizations that need to drink, so it must lead towards the heart of their place.
And it is
head out from here.
Completely perfectly bone dry, which means either A, it is for ventilating something to do with air, or B, this place was sealed for so long that what would be thousands of gallons of water have just evaporated and slowly found their way out over truly like probably the north of 1,000 years, over time. From there, we are going to jump to Harold's perception check. Harold, what'd you get?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. You continue to hear slight movement for about 10 minutes, and then that movement starts to get louder as whatever these creatures are begins to approach the door. As you look out, all you can see way off in the distance is Lemon's light, which is like all the way across this 120-foot space, very hard to see. So it's up to you what you want to do when that door opens. If it opens and you manage to not be detected, even though you're in plate armor, they're going to see a light and nothing else, right? Because nobody else has a campfire lit or anything. So you should just start to think about what you think Harold would actually want to do. Does he want to pick this fight by himself with his allies far away, or to keep them safe, or would you just try to send a signal to Lemon? You have like 50 options right now, so just start to stew on those. Lemon, what was the result of your perception check?
13 plus 3, so a 16.
With a 16, you quickly find that most of these tunnels lead to similar hatches. So they are, another one is about 120 feet. Some of them are really long. They wind, and you follow as far as you can while still feeling comfortable, but seem to easily go 200-300 feet off, assumably into the desert. If you pop open a few of those hatches, they empty out mostly into like natural caverns and other places like that. They seem to deposit other places, furthering Hilver's theory that you are in some kind of aqueduct or drainage system. And it's just somebody hit the button that closes all the hatches.
I just want to check if I'm not checking all the hatches, just like one or two, if they're also magically like sealed, or the explosive magic that the last ones had.
They all are.
They all are.
This place is incredibly densely protected. I want to be clear, that is an incredible working of magic. Each of these doors is sealed with very high-level deadly things that are made to keep out substantial threats. This place is secure with a capital S. Bartholomew, with your nat 20, you're making your way around, and you open one of these. You just start to make your way around, and then you kind of start to look, and you stop looking, and you stop listening, and you start just looking at the doors. You know what it's like to try to get people to not look at something. There have been many apartments of Bartholomew's where a cabinet has been put somewhere to be as unassuming as possible. And one of the doors is oh my gosh, I just forgot the word. The hinges. One of the doors, the hinges are like much better maintained, polished metal. The door is much better maintained. The handle and the whole setup is a little bit more user-friendly. It's not this big central crank. It is like an actual handle. And these are all subtle details that pass the interest of most of your compatriots. But as you find it, you find the only door that is clearly meant for people to go through. It's up to you if you want to open it now or wait until the party that you think found the way probably to where they would assume people would go, and therefore to the actual interior of this place.
So Bartholomew finds a way, takes something out of his little bag of holding, and tries to mark it.
Yeah, you're an
Right,
adventurer.
as
You
much
pull a
as
stick
I-
of chalk out
Yeah.
and draw an X on the door.
Yep. And then he's going to slowly but slightly open it and see if he can peek inside. Just get a little sneak peek into what's
You
behind door
slowly
number
twist
one.
it and open it, and you are looking down a actual hallway. This like smooth oddball stone gives way to like almost like a cobbled stone pathway, much nicer, much more finely detailed. It has a little bit of a mosaic pattern to it. The walls are smooth and clear. There is just a normal amount of overhead space. It's not any of these tall vaulted rooms made to handle hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of gallons of water or huge volumes of air. And most importantly, it is lit. As you open it, you see that there are torches on the wall burning with this like ethereal blue flame. And so you are looking down a lit hallway that extends out into some other area.
Well, that's fascinating, he whispers to himself. He's satisfied. He very much wants to go through the door, but also being a coward and thinking this thing is going to close on him, Scooby-Doo style.
Sure.
Closes it.
I will also give you, with a nat 20, you squint at one of them, and you just get a feeling on the back of your neck. And you look closer at one of the torches, and there is, you can see the engraving, and you see the symbol for, like, whatever, I think it's called, like, permanent flame, for this, like, heatless but quite bright light. And then, under it, you see another, traced around, barely visible. And with a nat 20, I will just give you what this is without an additional arcana check. If you were to cast a spell too close to this, the light would flare and change color.
That's either very cool or very concerning.
And you shut the door.
Intrusive thoughts like, do I cast something and close the door quickly to see what if it blows up the whole room? He doesn't.
At that exact moment, Harold, that door is about to open. What do you do?
Harold crunches some numbers here really quick. His first inclination was just to grab onto the handle so they can't open and have a strength contest. But seeing the wards have been on basically every door, right? That we've seen here, those magic wards.
On the doors completely out. So those are on the hatches. So there's this door in front of you, and then on the other end of assumably whatever room this opens into, there would be a hatch with that trap on it.
Okay, in that case, he doesn't. He was going to cast a spell on this door and have it explode when they tried to touch it, but this one doesn't have that ward on it. So instead, Harold just grabs onto this latch and leans against it.
Sure. The DM is thinking about some traps that are later in the adventure that your idea hadn't really thought about weaponizing that in that way. Really clever. Yeah, all right. Go ahead and this is going to be interesting. Are you trying to like make it seem like the door is stuck?
No, because the next thing he's going to do is yell out, "To arms!"
Make an athletics check. We're just going to have a quick contest.
Hearing them approach, I assume I have a few seconds before they grab it. So can I do an enhance ability on myself and then
Yeah, totally.
jump to it?
Yeah,
Sick.
you
It's gonna be
succeeded on
strength.
your check.
Boom. All right. So I give myself that bonus.
Full strength, yeah.
So I've got advantage. And this is going to be athletics, so +6. Advantage 25.
You win handily. So here's what I'll say. With because you won by more than 5, you can just hold this. The ooze has a +3 to strength. The other creatures have a +0. They really can't sort of rock it. So you just hold it and then yell, "To arms!" And everybody hears this. And as you all begin to run over and converge, Harold is just holding this shut. And Harold, it's like, it's not even that hard to like keep it held in place. You get the sense that these creatures are not made to fight bands of adventurers, right? As much. Although those stalkers seem built for killing. The other creatures seem a little bit less so. You hold it shut, and as all of you converge, Bartholomew has discovered the exit out. Hilver has discovered the purpose of the room. Lemon has a sense for where these other tunnels go. Beige is getting a much-deserved short rest and a couple of HP back. And Harold is holding this door shut. We are going to pick back up there next week, ? Hopefully next Monday we're going to pick back up there. Thank you so much for watching, and also thank you for sticking around to what we call Rules Talk. That's our show within a show where we stop and try to figure out the arcane and difficult to understand rules for Dungeons and Dragons, especially as they continue to change editions and make new and exciting, not super well play-tested decisions that we kind of have to sort of through our hips wade through every once in a while. But hey, it happens. You can catch three streams. Wow, it's been a long day, folks. You can catch 3 streams here on Foolhardy Press. All start at 7:30 p.m., sometimes a little bit later, like this one. These things, they do happen. On Sundays, you can catch Game Master, Masters of Games, where me, Spencer, and Michael try to either play games we feel we have already mastered or master new games. We've been playing Baldur's Gate for a while. We're probably going to play a little Marvel's Rivals. I've been trying to get us to play a little Overcooked, so some of that might be coming up in the not-too-distant future. On Mondays, you can catch The Party Makes Things Worse, Song of the Reliquary, where our party delves into this ancient and strange dungeon slash city slash military base to try to find its secrets and raise enough money so that Beach gets to keep their kneecaps. And on Tuesdays, you can catch DM Writer's Room, where we demystify the DMing process by coming up with adventures, magic items, and occasionally systems and one-page RPGs live. Definitely no stream tomorrow. I am busy as a bee Christmas Eve. But I do think we will be kicking off pretty right away, right, with the new year. I think we're planning to be up for next week. So tune into all of that. Thank you so much for watching this. Check us out on TikTok and YouTube. Well, check us out on TikTok for like 3 more weeks, unless something exciting happens in the U.S. court system. I guess really try to soak those in while you still can. And definitely go check out the YouTube. Spencer works over a hot stove over there, churning out new videos, and has some new stuff coming up for the new year that I'm pretty jazzed about. Also, go check us out on DriveThruRPG. Our first adventure, The Lich's Dollhouse, is up, and we have some pretty exciting 2025 plans that we are hoping to really get up off the ground here. That's got to be everything. So,
itch.io for The Last Thanksgiving.
No! Go to itch.io, check out The Last Thanksgiving, which I guess could be, if you have turkey at Christmas, it could be The Last Christmas. You could sort of slant that. That wouldn't be too bad. Thank you so much for watching. Always a pleasure to have you here. Have a happy holidays. I hope things stay calm and low stress as you make your way through the end of this year. See y'all later. Peace out.
See you.
Bye.